Here's Don Jr., the unreal double standard of the Biden classified documents case. Now, before we even get started, a reminder. The having of classified documents itself is not a crime. The willful misuse of them and the refusal to return them, that would be the criminal part, of which both Pence and Biden seem totally in the clear. Whereas the intent to actually commit a crime, holding classified documents you are no longer entitled to have or see, and providing them to people who may not be allowed to see them either, Trump did in an obvious and it's almost like a defiant way at a certain point. It's almost like, because half of the stuff I absolutely think he was shopping around, but half of the argument was they can't tell me what to do. I used to be president. Anyways, okay, guys. Well,
guys, big news.
Well, guys.
National Archives.
Guys, they're coming after my dad, guys.
The organization in government, total bipartisan organization that oversees
the whole thing. I've got my palate spackle in there so that I don't have the hole in my palate from cocaine. It makes me talk a little weird, but it's okay.
Presidential records and such. Remember, this is the totally bipartisan.
Totally. I'm glad he doesn't look panicked at all.
Not political at all group that had no problem issuing multiple press releases on the Trump Mar-a-Lago saga in 20.
Well, they had to, because he was denying that he had stuff, and they knew he did, so that created a big back and forth. Nobody else has given him that kind of a pain in the ass ever.
22, including recently in November and December, and I believe as recently as this week. And yet,
well, it's your dad. Don't ask me to look it up.
After the discovery of the Biden documents, zero.
Well, yeah, they didn't discover them. And they didn't call and say, hey, you got some shit. You should give it back to us. The Biden lawyers and his packing team at Penn discovered that, and they went, we should do due diligence. Make sure there's nothing else in the wind. They gathered it all up and gave it to NARA. What more is needed? You want them to pout for you? So that you can say so you can pack in some whataboutism when your dad was like, fuck you, I can keep whatever I want. I magically peed on it and it's declassified now.
Nothing.
They fuck you at the drive-thru.
James Comer, Republican from Kentucky, heading the Oversight Committee, now says the archives lawyer said that he was not allowed to put out a Biden press release.
Archives had multiple press releases on Trump. But zero on Biden scandal. Comer says Archives lawyer said he was not allowed to put out Biden press release. Since when do Archives lawyers put out press releases?
Really?
Yeah. When do lawyers put out press releases on national security measures or anything else for that matter?
They didn't have a problem talking about Trump.
Well, that's because they had plenty of time to do it. They had a year and a half of him saying, no, you can't have it. Fuck you.
Like, publicly.
Like, everybody.
But now. They're not allowed?
They're not allowed.
Hey, who? Who exactly has the authority?
Obviously, the establishment, Illuminati, deep state swamp. I mean, pick up a fucking paper.
Tell the governing body that oversees these things that they're not allowed. And why exactly would they do that? I have a feeling that.
Yes, wait. We know what your feeling is going to be. It's a misapprehension or a false belief. I wouldn't call it a feeling, but
if anyone else told them they weren't allowed, but it was for Trump.
Well, I mean, during his presidency, I didn't hear anything from them, even though it was clear that he was removing documents. He had a lot of these things for years, and they were in an unsecure place. He had taken them with him to Mar-a-Lago, left them there. Either they didn't know, and he was lying about where the things were, or they said so, and he denied them the ability to say anything in public.
Have a serious problem. Their head would be out there saying things like, this is against democracy.
Their head? What about the rest of them?
Like he said about Trump.
Where are my notes from the Heritage Foundation? I lost again. Fuck. I said that part. I fucked up that part. I don't want to redo this. See, the 4 minutes is the easiest Coke money you'll ever make. That's what they said to me.
These guys have been deeply involved in the political hit job on my father.
Is he hitting himself? Is this one of those like, why are you hitting yourself moments?
And now they're not allowed? We're supposed to believe that the archives, they're totally non-political, right?
Yes, it was. Both Pence and Biden went, here's the stuff. Nobody even told us we had this stuff and we didn't mean to take it. So here, put that back. And the opposite is true with his dad, which is, I know I took it, but fuck you, copper.
Protecting documents, not playing games with the FBI or using them to get what they want, or the DOJ or whomever they're talking with, right?
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just the deep state Illuminati.
They're supposed to be a neutral party in this. They just oversee the document.
Right. And if you'll notice, the Biden and Pence, neither of them fought the NARA for a year after they requested a return of documents. Not even close. Not a minute. As a matter of fact, they let NARA know that they'd found some stuff, and they arranged to return it. So you're an asshole.
In an article from the Washington Examiner.
Oh, okay, the Washington Examiner. It's good. Because, if the Times or the Post won't do it, at least, I will say this about the Examiner. At least it comes in two-ply.
Head Republican on the Oversight Committee, who's he's in charge of, they're telling him they're not allowed?
A lawyer isn't allowed to talk about the exchange of documents? A lawyer that's never released a press release? Had told what? Whoops, hold on one second. Why did this freeze up?
Again,
if this was me, oh my God.
No problem doing this. The head of the National Archives, a February 2022 press release included 2 quotes from then archivist David Farino, who hates Trump, clearly a never-Trumper, but stressed the importance of the Presidential Records Act, which Farino called the law.
Attack of a little body, fuck you.
Critical to our democracy.
Honest to God, I have to think that like Kimberly or somebody said they thought that was cute or cool. Like, people love your air quotes, man. Fuck them up. And he just over-responded.
Farino also declared that when it comes to the timely transfer of them to the National Archives at the end of the administration, there should be no question as to the need for both diligence and vigilance. Records matter. Strangely, no such press release or pronouncement has been made about Joe Biden and the saga, even though he's had these documents that he shouldn't have had for a lot longer than Trump ever.
Yeah, but he was never made aware that he had them, or that he had them unlawfully, or that they weren't his to have. And he's president now. NARA could come to him and go, we think you might have some documents. And you go, okay, those are declassified. I'm the president currently. If he wanted to cover for himself, it'd be that fucking easy. But he doesn't. He was like, oh, we should, by the way, we found some stuff. You guys might want to take a little better care.
He had some from the Senate. He's got patches everywhere. You have stuff stored in his Penn think tank. Joe Biden has a think tank. Like, honestly, give me a break. Okay?
Yeah, gosh, this guy doesn't think. He managed to beat my dad in an election. You don't have to have braids to do that. Oh, my fucking God. You just have to be a dude.
Funded by China to the tune of about $54 million, minor details. And
well, no, they gave money to Penn,
boxes
not to the center.
Classified documents in his garage where Hunter and probably his unseemly cast of characters in his world of corruption and dictatorships and bad actors throughout the world would have access to. No problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably that's what the Chinese balloon was all about.
No statement. No nothing.
Yeah, because they didn't have to, because they were getting what they needed back.
Yeah.
Just because we fought them for a year and a half to fight a subpoena and didn't lock the place and move stuff even after we said we'd put a lock on the door.
DOJ has advised it will need to consult the newly appointed Office of Special Counsel in DOJ to assess whether information can be released without interfering with... Give me a break.
Oh, by the way, yeah, part of the reason why they can't talk about it is because they already have a special counsel, and the special counsel is investigating. Unlike Trump's thing, where they gave him this just like rich boy privilege to fuck around for a year and a half. We didn't have an investigator on his case until after the subpoena. Like everything was just like they let him get away with it for so fucking long.
Just stop already. Yet another example of a two-tiered system of justice.
Yeah, because Dodd Jr. is very upset because I'm a black man in a white man's world. And I'm just caught in the confines of bureaucracy. You're a Caucasian, Mr. Heffler. Fine, throw that in my face too. I'm gonna look like shit. Do you have any hairspray or perhaps some mousse?
Impartial moderators of these things happen to be really partial.
By the way, I am enjoying him freaking out. Is that wrong?
I'm shocked.
It's good. I'm not.
Shocked to see this. But keep watching.
Don't let it happen, guys. Keep watching. Don't let it happen. You can't let this stuff happen. You can't let it happen. This is nonsense.
Guys, keep watching. Don't let them get away with the hypocrisy. Call out these clowns in the deep state. Call out the clowns that are functioning.
Deep state, the savage, the rhinos.
The marketing department for the Democrat Party and are going against everything our country and democracy and freedom and the republic stand for, because they're doing it every day and they're laughing in our faces.
That's true. We are. While China is laughing at us, we're laughing at you. It's weird. It's like laughs like shit roll downhill, and you're at the bottom of the hill, Don. It's like a game of shit skee ball, and you're the entire row at the bottom. Sure, the rest of us are the really high point cones up in the top that you hope you get into, but you're the one that always catches the shit. It must be your station in life, I think.
Until we call it out, until we make it known, until they understand that we're on to them and their lives, it's going to continue in perpetuity.
Throughout the universe and forever. Until they know that we know what we don't know, they're going to know what you know?
Well, guys,
Also, I like his big wind up at the top of this. He hits play, and then they shave a little off, but it's like, ah!
Well, guys, big news from the National Archives.
And he's not even looking at the camera yet. He's still reading his fucking notes. By the way, this is you know how like people at Benihana and like certain restaurants they have like flair. Maybe it's not Benihana. What was the restaurant that we went to on Green Bay Road all the time? Like Chili's or something. They have, they got their flair all over their stuff, and the menu's important, the conversation's important, the food is certainly the most important thing. Maybe the background music. The least important thing is the flair, unless something stands out and works for one particular person. It's more like a accidental conversation starter if you got a dud, right? This is flair. These videos, this is what this is. This is just put another button on your suspenders. Nobody gives a fuck. That's what this is. And he gets somebody's calling him and saying, you need more flair. You got a disappointingly low level of flair. Applebee's, there you go.